Hello everyone, welcome to the channel Unleash the Potential. In this channel, we talk about different interesting topics. Our today's topic is Agile methodology for the software development. We know there are different methodology that teams and companies follow for the software development life cycle. And Agile is one of the most important thing because now this is the requirement for the today's world moving to the shift left. We have seen multiple videos describing how Agile works and how it is different from the traditional waterfall. Today, in this video, we focus solely on the Agile issues versus defect, how a bug is treated as an issue and why it is different from a defect and vice versa. And what does it mean for a Scrum team or a QA team or a system team? Okay, so let's move on. We try to understand this topic using a flowchart. So this flowchart describes the issue and defect process in Agile. So we'll start with uh, the box showing begin iteration. So begin iteration is the something that is coming very new to your storyboard. Okay, there's the first iteration for the story, the brand new story. Okay, once the story is coming, so teams will design the story acceptance criteria. Okay, the test team will also develop their test cases using the BDD, behavior driven development. We will cover this topic in a different video because it needs a whole lot of attention. So for now we can just proceed with that. We The testing will design their test cases in BDD, and those BDD uh, test cases will be used by the development team to design and make the story work. Okay, once development team is done their work, that they will move that story for the test ready. So just to remind here everybody, we are talking specifically about the issue and defect process in Agile. Okay, so we'll not touch anything on the development side or anything after that. Okay, we just solely focus on when the story is complete and some bug is coming, how it is being treated, when it is an issue, when it's a defect. Okay, so once the iteration begins, then the test cases will be designed as per BDD. When the story is ready, Scrum testing will be done. Okay, and it will be moved to the Scrum test column. Okay, so if a story is working based on the acceptance criteria, it is meeting all the acceptance criteria. That Scrum tester will move it to pass and move it to the next column. Okay, uh, based on the definition of done, the PO will accept the story, and we will follow this cycle for the multiple stories until all the stories for that feature get accumulated, and we call it a feature ready. Means the feature, how what is the feature and what is the story and how it is related. If we don't know, then we cover that in a separate video. For now, just understand that there are a number of stories. Those are targeting to a same business objective, will comprise of feature. When all the story for that feature are done, means of feature is done and it's ready for the next level of testing called the system testing. We are just breaking it here now, and we'll come back to the system test and feature test while we cover the negative scenario here. Okay, coming back to the scrum test decision box. Okay, so we have discussed when it is passing, it is moving to a feature. But what happens when it is failing? When it is failing, the team will log the issue and they'll discuss the issue in the daily stand up. Okay. And based on the issue, right, they will determine whether it can be fixed within the same iteration, within the same story, or it's a something not related to that story, or it has to go and it has to be treated a different story, or you have to log a backlog story for that. Based on that discussion, the team will decide whether you have to create a separate story or you have to move it to next sprint, or they can immediately that fix that issue and give it to you, test it. So this cycle we call as an issue because if they are fixing it, within the same story, they're not creating a new story, then we'll treat this as a issue. We'll not log a new defect for it, but we'll maintain this log in and whatever the agile iteration tool you are following, maybe a version 1 or it may be a Zira. So right, so we'll make a new, add a new task, right? Issue found and what is the resolution for that. And again, once the is to end, once the development team is about to fix that issue, we'll move the story back to the coding column. And once the development team fix that issue, they'll move it to the Scrum test, and again we'll test it and we'll follow. It may fail again or it may pass, and it will move to feature. So we are clear with this. Okay. And we talked about how the feature is getting ready. Okay, once feature is ready, and then the next level of testing will open up. Okay, that is kind of system integration testing. Okay, that is beyond the Scrum testing team scope. Okay, here the integration or the system team, those are testing at the solution level. They'll test the whole feature. Here you are testing a story one by one, and here the test team will test the whole feature. Okay, they will test the feature and based on the feature acceptance criteria. Okay, so feature acceptance criteria may be a combination of all the stories for that feature, or maybe some end-to-end scenarios will be added to that. Okay, if your story is working as per the feature acceptance criteria, you are making it pass, then it is moving for the UAT testing or RMT testing, right? And then it is ready for MTP. Okay. But what happens if your story is failing and it is not meeting the feature acceptance criteria? That time you will log a defect. Okay. You will have to create a story for that defect story. And that defect story will go with the defect review meter and will get prioritized, and the Scrum team will add to their backlog based on the defect priority and how they can address that defect and what is their bandwidth. Okay. So anything what you are finding in the system test, that will be treated as a defect. Why it is different from issue? Because when you are testing in the system board, right? So the active story for that feature, that particular thing is already being closed in the Scrum team board, right? Because they already moved the story to the done, and now it is once everything is ready for that feature, they are sending that feature for the system testing. So the development team will need some reference to fix that if issue or defect, right? So they will need some kind of reference in their board. So that the reference is nothing but the defect you are creating. They'll create a defect story for that. Okay. And what if you are feature testing, you're passing it, okay, but in RMT or EVS it is failing. So again, it will create a defect. It will go with the defect review process, and based on the priority and the bandwidth, it will get assigned to the iteration, and team development team will work on it. Okay, this is the cycle teams will follow. Okay, I hope this is clear, and we were able to cover what is the difference between issue and defect, and when to open an issue, when to log an defect. Okay, what is the responsibility of the Scrum test team? What is the responsibility of the system test team? Okay, and when the feature is moving to MTP, right? When everything is done, when then only you make the feature MTP ready. Okay, hope this clear the information, and we'll see you in the next video. Please don't forget to subscribe the channel and share it. Thank you. Thank you very much.